Getting back to risk, if you're an investment firm and I'm an investment firm, everyone says that risk is very important in risk management. But there were some firms that were definitely paying attention to risk and were heeding the warnings of the risk manager and the blinking red light. And there were some people who were saying, no, let it ride. Let's chase this. How does risk philosophy meet risk mitigation? You have the risk tools there, but some firms did ignore their risk advisors and their risk management solutions.
Well, I guess some ignored the risk managers, and some people thought that they knew, that they had the information and the information was accurate and complete when it wasn't. So between neglect and lack of attention, somewhere between all the explanation lies in various doses. To those who were careless or inattentive or assumed that they knew but they didn't have the correct information, we can help. For people who are accountable for willful neglect, that's not much that we can do with technology.
Sure. How important is risk to your clients right now when you go into meetings with investment firms and hedge funds and buy-side firms and sell-side firms? Is that topic number one these days?
It is number one, and there are different types of risk. Counterparty risk, you mentioned, liquidity risk in various degrees, and depends on where you are, and you're responding to different regulatory agencies in the United States, Federal Reserve and Treasury Department. In UK, United Kingdom, there's FSA. And but being able to price the risk properly and reflect the risk that is assumed properly on the balance sheet and the financial statements and provide the transparency to regulatory agencies is now number one around the globe.
Sure.
And that will probably not going to change anytime soon. People may again downplay risk management as a function. If we see growth and we heal all the damage that we had seen in years to come, but right now it is the key issue.
Sure.
Without that.
Now, what Waters Magazine has found out that not only did investment firms not have a clear picture of their counterparty risk, what was going on in the firms next across the street from them, a lot of times they didn't know what was happening entirely inside their own houses. They didn't, because everything was in its own individual silo, that they couldn't get a big picture of the entire organization's risk exposure. Is this something that Sybase Wrap can help with?
Yes, actually, there are a few who managed to get a fairly clear idea of the trends as far as counterparty risk exposure is going, and able to react in time simply because they managed to consolidate all the relevant data in one place and were able to analyze it under various scenarios. But the main difficulty of having to move data around so that somebody has a clear picture of current trends that are moving very fast is a big problem. You can be blindsided simply because the information is incomplete or it is stale or parts of it are stale. And there isn't a whole lot that you can do when you have to make the decisions and you just rely on what you have, and you're missing certain detail, and therefore you end up making the wrong decision.
Right.
So the safe thing to do is using technology to bring all the relevant information in front of the decision maker very quickly, as early as possible, and keep that as complete as possible all the time, the entire information set. And that's where we can help. That's where our technology helps.
Right. And it's not just stale information or incomplete information, but they're also drowning in this data. There's just so much data these days, and instantly, nobody seems to be very happy with their data and what they can do with it.
Right.
You have a case study with a major investment house based in the UK. I think they're a Japanese arm, and they mentioned that they were able to look into their data and find a new trading strategies.
Right. I mean, if data, before it becomes useful information, needs to be organized. And it has to be treated. Raw data in very large quantities flowing into one place is probably not going to help the person who needs to make a decision within a certain time frame.
Right.
So I think we're good at, as we move data and organize it, we also are good in turning it into information that people can act on. Right. And again, that's one thing we can do with technology, and the information itself, not only timely and relevant, but complete, and that's how we can affect the outcome.
So essentially, there are secrets for tomorrow's trading strategies in yesterday's data, is basically what you're saying.
Right. That's a fairly risky proposition, I would say.
So firms are basically, they can actually crunch the numbers, they can actually go through the data, and they can figure, they could possibly create a trading strategy that will help them?
Yeah, they can. I mean, the trading strategies help when you include what is the most recent trend line, expose that trend line, and also correlate it to past history, and try to understand the momentum behind the immediate activity, most recent activity. And then you can fine-tune the trading strategy to protect yourself. Just looking at the last few seconds or few minutes of data in the absence of a historical context or some reference frame is probably not going to be all that useful.
Right.
So in order to bring those different pieces of data in different timelines so that you can establish your correlations and then develop a strategy, probably the most useful, most promising way to use data. Historical data has the lessons built into it. You just have to extract the lessons, therefore you have to have access to the data, and then you can be a much better judge of what to do next.